This is Gareth Southgate, and this is the Three Lions podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Three Lions podcast. My name is Russell Osborne. Now, by the time you listen to this episode, we will know most of our Euro 2020 oppositions. And I say most, as there are still some positions still to be filled, as the playoff matches that involve Nations League winners are to be played in March next year. I know, a draw that doesn't know its final teams. Something only UEFA could come up with. Now, later on in the podcast, I'll be heading to Wembley, where I've been fortunate enough to go to watch the draw take place on the telly, live from Bucharest in Romania. But it is an opportunity that the England Supporters Travel Club have laid on, and with the opportunity of some complimentary drinks and some nibbles, and getting fellow England fans' reactions, that's a good enough excuse for me. Now, hopefully this cold that I've got won't put you off and we can get through the whole podcast. But thanks for the feedback on the recent episodes, especially the review of the Montenegro and Kosovo one. Do hope it gave you a flavour of what Pristina was like for those that couldn't make it. And it is still available at your chosen podcast platform. Right, after securing qualification against Montenegro in England's 1000th game, we as supporters started to think about who we could face in next year's tournament. And with the following victory over Kosovo, we became seeded for the tournament, and we'd be in pot 1 alongside other seeded nations: Belgium, Italy, Spain, Ukraine and Germany. So, who could we be drawn with? Pot 2, of which we will face one of the following. It features France, Poland, Switzerland, Croatia, the Netherlands and Russia. France, of course, are current World Cup holders. The Netherlands and Switzerland, both Nations League opposition. Croatia are World Cup semi-final opposition. Poland, of course, have got Robert Lewandowski. And we met Russia in our opening game in Euro 2016 in Marseille, when they equalised in the last minute, and what subsequently happened needs no mention, but it is well documented. If I was to consider who I'd prefer to face, especially on home soil, then I think we're capable of beating them all. But I think we can see off Switzerland easily. Pot 3 features Portugal, Turkey, Denmark, Austria, Sweden and the Czech Republic. Portugal, current European holders and Nation League winners. We've not faced Turkey in some time. Denmark, we're already facing at Wembley in March in a friendly. Austria are an opposition we've not faced in some time, although there's a lot of talk about facing them in a friendly before the tournament. I guess it'll depend how this draw goes. And Sweden are a nation we tend to face in tournaments. 92, 2002, 2006, 2012. So they're kind of a nation I hope we avoid. And the Czech Republic we drew in the recent qualifiers. Austria, I think, are a side that we can beat. Pot 4 is a strange one and slightly confusing, as only 2 nations are currently in it. Wales and Finland, who incidentally are in their first international tournament. And we only have to go back to 2016 to remember a Scandinavian team who were playing in their first international tournament. However, the final 4 spots are to be taken by teams that are playing in playoffs that are to be played in March. The winners of Playoff C will be the nation that joins us. There are 4 countries that have been paired together for 2 one-off semi-finals. Semi-final number 1 sees Scotland play Israel, and semi-final 2 is Norway against Serbia. Both winners will then obviously play each other to fill one of the final 4 spots. As much as I'd love to face Scotland and beat them, and I think they should see off Israel, I think Norway and Serbia will be too strong for them. Whoever comes out on top between Norway and Serbia, I think will be our final opposition. Again, either are beatable. So in my eyes, an ideal group would be us, Switzerland, Austria, and one of Norway or Serbia. That's if I've read the whole draw correctly. If I haven't, then disregard all of this. Now, I've not personally paid or applied for tickets as yet. UEFA's initial ballot opened back in June for a month where you could apply for tickets. It was hugely popular, apparently 19.3 million ticket requests for only 1.5 million available tickets at the time. And apparently 1.9 million requested to be at the final at Wembley on the 12th of July. Now, I'm waiting for the England Follow My Team application to open, which I think is on the 4th of December. And this is specifically for travel club members. Not just for England, but all of the other nations' similar clubs or associations. Now, I've looked at the prices involved, and the minimum cost, Category 3 tickets, should England go all the way to the final, so that's taken in 7 games, appears to be €765, which is roughly 645 quid. This is applying, as I say, for Category 3 games in the group stage at €50 each, round of 16 at €50, quarter-final at 75, a semi-final at 195, and then the final, Category 3, €295. This doesn't appear to take into account the fans first category that appears was available in the initial ticketing phase. UEFA's strapline for the tournament is Live It for Real. At those prices, I'm not quite sure they're in the real world. Averaging it out, we're potentially looking at £92 a ticket. That's before travel. Now, we are fortunate that there is a minimum 3 games based in England at Wembley, and I'm fortunate that I'm only an hour from Wembley, but for fans that can be travelling from further afield, north, south and west, 3 times in the space of 10 days, it's going to be an expensive time. Plus, then, fingers crossed, if we make it through those group games, we have to factor in the possibility of 2 overseas trips for the round of 16 and the quarter-final. Anyway, we'll see. In fact, let's go to Wembley to see how it does pan out and see who we can speak to.
And welcome to Wembley. It's sort of strange coming here on a non-match day. No one blocking your way at the entrance or the exit to the station where the steps are. As I look down Wembley Way or Empire Way, I've got some sort of light show going on here ready for Christmas. The stadium is ahead of me. I remember coming here for the very first game back in 2007. It was a under-21 game. And I've got a photo of me and my granddad with the arch and the stadium behind us. And now it's just all building work going up. The walk up to the ground has lost some of its wow factor, really. It's sort of hidden away. Much like when the Twin Towers were here, made you get excited to be going into the ground. Anyway, that's enough reminiscing. We have got a draw to see. That gives me great pleasure to welcome to the Three Lions podcast Mr. David Seaman, safe hands himself.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Here we are, European Championships draw. Going back to your days as a player, when the draw was made, did you get in touch with opposition national players, maybe in the team?
Not really. Yeah, not really. I would imagine that, like, people like Gaza, when we knew we'd got Scotland in our group stages, would have obviously had banter with his teammates then. But no, you don't. You watch it, and all you want is an easy draw. You know, because you want to qualify to the knockout stages. So like having banter with them, not really, but after you beat them, oh yes.
No, right. so you had the banter with Bergkamp and Kano as well.
I had a one-on-one with Dennis in the Holland game when we won 4-1, and I think it was 1-0 at the time, and I saved it down my left, and he said to me when we were in training at Arsenal, he went, "You knew where I was going, didn't you?" And I was like, "Yeah."
It's part and parcel
exactly.
of it, isn't it?
He should have changed his mind, shouldn't he?
There's 75 caps for England, second most capped goalkeeper for England. What do you make of the current crop of England goalkeepers? Jordan Pickford, Pope,
Yeah, they're all doing well. Jordan's obviously number one by a long way, I think, because of the experience that he's got. He's obviously got the experience from the World Cup, which he had a fantastic World Cup, and now coming into the tournament here in the summer, it's important that he's settled. You know, there's nothing worse than going into a tournament where you're not sure whether you're number one or not, or then all of a sudden it's thrust upon you. When we was here, Terry Venables took over, and straight away he named me as his number one, which really settled me and really helped. You know, then you look at like Nick Pope, you look at Tom Heaton, Jack Butland, and even Dean Henderson at Sheffield United. You know, he's pushing. You know, it was great to see him involved in the squad not long ago. You know, so there's strength in depth. My only worry is that there's not a lot of caps under Jordan, right? You know, which can be a little bit of a worry, but we just have to keep fingers crossed that Jordan stays away from injury.
Well, you began to establish yourself under Graham Taylor. How was it to feel to miss out on 92?
Yeah, it was weird because, so like when Graham first took over, he didn't take me to 92. He took Chris Woods and Nigel Martin, which, you know, I couldn't understand. And then I didn't play for England for something like about 18 months. And then he brought me back in for, I think it was the Holland game and then the San Marino game. And then after that, I played quite a few times. But then he left, you know. So then Terry took over and made me his number one. So, you know, so it was a strange time of my England career because, you know, when I thought I was going to be pushing on to be like number two behind Chris, I got the knockback. But, you know, I soon changed that.
Yeah. I've come just somewhere a little bit more quieter, and I'm going to ask David Seaman. I was behind the goal at Wembley in '96. What went through your head there and the moment afterwards when the ball ended up with Gaza and Tony Adams kissing you?
Yeah, well, that's the biggest thing I remember is Tony's kiss.
Really?
Weirdly enough, yeah, because I remember him having a bristly face. And I was thinking, yeah. But no, obviously, the penalty was the penalty, and then I knew that Gary McAllister was a good penalty taker, and I knew he puts it either side, so I just guessed to my right, and he hit it so hard. The ball, but I must say, the ball did start moving off the spot. And he hit it with pace, and I just managed to get my elbow on it, and it landed right on the point of my elbow, shot over the crossbar, and it was just great relief because we were 1-0 up at the time and we were struggling a little bit. The ball went out for a corner. I remember it coming in, there was a free kick, I got the ball down or something and then played it out. I don't even remember who to, and then they played it to Gaza, and then within 2 minutes of me making my penalty save, we're 2-0 up. You know, and it was just a great time, you know, and a great time for me, great time for Gaza as well.
And you mentioned it inside in the supporters' draw there about being on home soil.
Yeah.
What was it like then, and how can it be like next year?
Back then it was brilliant. You know, the support just grew and grew. Following us all the way back from our hotel in near Slough. They were lining the streets until we got onto the motorway, and then the cars even knew what sort of time we were getting onto the motorway, and they would follow the coach all the way to Wembley. And then the people outside Wembley, you know, when we used to turn up like 2 hours before the game, it was packed. You know, so it was such a great feeling, and one of those, you know, like goosebump moments that whenever you think about it, it really does hit home. And we've got a great chance of recreating that here. You know, we've got all the qualifying games here. You know, and if the England fans get behind us, we have got a great chance because we have got a really good team.
And can we go all the way next year?
We can. We are capable of it. We've got the ability. We've dealt with the pressure in a World Cup. This is a Europeans. Okay, it's here at Wembley, which is added pressure. But they've got the ability to do it, you know. And if they play well, it's about being able to have that ability, but then being able to produce it under pressure. And we'll see how they do that in the summer.
We're talking just prior to the draw. Should we fear anyone, or is there anyone that you think, oh, I'd rather not get them in the group?
Yeah, there's a few teams that we could get that could be tough, like France and Portugal. You'd like to avoid them, but you know you're going to be playing top teams. You know, but ideally you want a nice, easy route through the qualifying stages. And then once you get into that knockout stage, it's anybody's game. You know, and normally the guys that have qualified are on form. You know, and what we need to do is we need to get better game by game, not peak too early in the qualifying stages.
Well, that's great. David Seaman, thank you very much for your time.
Cheers.
On the Three Lions podcast. So the draw's been made. It was Italian Francesco Totti who pulled England's name out of the pot. We've been drawn as position D1. There was a big cheer here at Wembley as England's name was pulled out. And we will face Croatia. They were pulled out on D2. And the Czech Republic at D4, which means that position D3 goes to the playoff winners between Scotland, Israel, Norway and Serbia. Right, let's go and get some reaction to that draw.
This is Tom Hardy, I'm from Baco still.
What do you make of the draw?
Very pleased with the draw. It could have been a lot worse. Obviously I'm glad we didn't end up in a group like Group F. I think Croatia would be nice to have a bit of payback after the World Cup. Czech Republic, I don't think it'll be a problem after the qualifiers. It'd be nice in a way to see Scotland qualify. I think bring back memories of Euro 96. So yeah, overall very pleased.
My name's Andrew Houston.
And what do you think of the draw, Andrew?
I'm feeling moderately confident. It's there's nothing going to frighten me too much, and I feel that we've avoided the big guns, so happy days.
My name's Heather and I'm from a place called Angring, which is near Brighton in West Sussex.
And what do you think of the draw today, England's chances?
Yeah, no, I think it's very positive, very fair. I think we should take great confidence from it. I see no reason at all why we shouldn't progress to the next stage.
Croatia don't scare you?
Got huge respect for Croatia, but more than one team goes through, so yes, I think when you look at some of the other draws, better us than Portugal at the moment.
Yes, that really is a group of death, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's quite exciting to watch that, isn't it?
Yeah, I look forward to watching that. Yeah.
My name's Dean. I'm from Tottenham. I'm a Tottenham supporter. I think it's actually a really good draw for England. It'll be interesting to see who they get from the playoff games. Hoping for Scotland.
Aren't we all? Yes.
Yeah. That'll be a great game. I think there's a lot of potential there for us to go and have a really good competition, if I'm honest.
Can we win it?
Absolutely. If we play to our potential, I don't see why the boys can't bring it home. It's coming home, mate.
Lucy from London, QPR season ticket holder. Yeah, delighted with the draw. I think it's a really good draw. I think we've got a great chance of winning the group.
No one there that scares you?
No, I think we'll do well from that. I'm pleased. Obviously, we've got Croatia again, but we got a good result against them last time. And no, I'm happy with that. I think it's good.
Some other exciting matches in it as well, that group of death?
Absolutely. Gosh, goodness me. As that was coming out, France, Portugal, Germany. To be honest, I'm glad they're all in together and get them knocked out as soon as possible.
So I'm Robin from Guildford, in Surrey, and I support Tottenham. And after the draw, it's good feelings. Been talking with Dom about it recently, and we're both feeling good about it. We feel we've shown ourselves against those teams recently, some of the teams in the draw. So I don't think anything to be afraid of. So looking forward to it now next summer. I think it'll be definitely a good one, and I think everyone will get behind the boys again and be looking forward to it.
Yeah, so I'm Dom. I'm from Exeter in the West Country. I'm a Blackburn Rovers fan. I've been to see them play both Croatia and Czech Republic recently, and that is probably what I would have imagined would be a good scenario. We've avoided the obvious France, Portugal. There was a huge sigh of release in here kind of when we avoided them, so I don't see why we shouldn't top that. And the home advantage as well, it's kind of getting to us now that we're looking at the draw and we're thinking, if this won't be our tournament, when is it going to be our tournament? This is probably the best chance we're going to have in a very long time. Our squad is probably one of the hottest in the world at the moment, definitely one of the hottest in Europe. So we've really got to win this group, and the two group games, because I'm a Traveller Supporters Club, I kind of thinking I could get to. I noticed they're playing in Dublin and maybe Copenhagen, St Petersburg. Win those, right? Hypothetically, we're back at Wembley in the semi-final. That's important because we can make this a home tournament. Really, in the final, we'll also be at Wembley. So I'm confident. I was confident before the draw, but now I'm a lot more confident.
Hi, Paul Burchak from Bexley Heath, support Tottenham Hotspurs. Pretty good draw for us, I think, to be honest. Czech Republic obviously beat them quite convincingly at home. Away, slightly different matter, but we're at home, so you'd expect a good result. Croatia gives us another opportunity to play against, I guess, an ageing squad that we should win, I think, at home. So and then you never know, might be the old enemy.
Could be, couldn't it?
So, yeah, pretty positive for the draw. Hope to progress into the next round, but we will see what comes in June.
Tony Worth from Coventry. I support Coventry City. I think the draw's a very good one for England. Could have been a lot worse. Certainly avoided some of the big names. Croatia will be a tough game, but I think we've got enough to get out of the group, and runners-up might not even be a bad thing.
I'd like to welcome to the Three Lions podcast Harpreet Robertson from the England Supporters Club. Harpreet.
Hello.
Hiya. So next year, obviously, we're here for the Euro 2020 draw. Ticketing-wise, next year, I appreciate that the FA aren't the main place to go for it, but you're going to be here to help us all out. It's done through UEFA. Can you give us a quick overview of how it all works and what we need to be doing?
Sure, no problem. So, as we've qualified for the Euros, UEFA gives each participating country an allocation of tickets. So, for our matches at Wembley, we'll receive 12,000 tickets for England supporters, travel club members only. And the application process kicks off on Wednesday, December the 4th. And all members will receive an access code before that date, and all you have to do is go into the UEFA website, apply for the tickets that you'd like to apply for, and the application window will be open for 2 weeks until the 18th of December, and after that time we'll run the ballot according to the membership rules, and UEFA will let you know the results of that in January, and then you'll be able to pay for the tickets. So that's it, sort of quite simply, but there's a few more sort of complications to it in terms of increasing our allocation. There is a potential for us to get some more tickets to add to the 12,000 we already have, depending on the other nations we're now playing. So with Croatia, Czech Republic and the third one to be determined, if they're unable to sell all their 12,000 tickets for each match, we have the potential to get some of their tickets to add to our pot. So it's really important that if you do want to go to the Euros next summer, and you don't think you have much of a chance at this moment in time, you might be surprised. So go on to the UEFA website from Wednesday onwards, apply for the tickets you'd like, and if you don't get them in the first raft of ballots, you may get them at a later date.
What's the best way to contact you? If people do have any queries, questions, what's the best way to contact you initially?
I think the first thing to do, I'd recommend for everybody, is please read the FAQs. We've got some really comprehensive FAQs on our website, which should answer 99% of the questions that you may have. If you can't find your answer on there, then by all means contact us. Drop us an email or give us a call, but just be mindful of the fact that we do receive a lot of emails, so we might not be able to respond to you within a matter of hours. It's likely to be days. So read the FAQs first, and after that get in touch and we'll do our best to help you.
Thank you very much.
It's Nathan Wilson, Director for Sports World. We're the official travel partner for the English FA. Obviously an interesting draw just now for England for Euro 2020. Yeah, so 2020 obviously we've got the 3 games at home. So as a travel partner, there's not a lot of travel involved, but we have got supporters all over the country, so we are offering hotels and different options to stay in London. I also, my team are working with the FA to look at some big bar, festival type experiences in and around Wembley. So just to make a party atmosphere, really. What looks really cool is the knockout stages. Obviously, looking at the group, Croatia, England first and second in the group should be, and that draws up interesting draw. So if we finish top, we go to Dublin and then to Rome. If we go to Dublin, we've got the potential of playing someone from the group of death, which would be very interesting. So that's France, Germany or Portugal. And then if we go second, I believe we go to Copenhagen and St. Petersburg, we could play Spain. So we could have France or Spain in the last 16, which means we could have a really tricky trip on the way through. So, but that, I think a lot of people are starting looking at travel options now for the latter stages. We ourselves are going to do day trips and overnight trips where you get a £100 deposit, but it's refundable if we don't get through. So it gives people the option not to worry about where the destination is, because obviously there is also the third place trip up, which is Baku, which hopefully, unlike Wales, we don't really go to Baku. I don't think that's going to happen, but yeah, so there's an option there there for supporters where they can jump on early. They don't have to worry about it. It's a refundable deposit, and we're there to support them with our people on the ground. So really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a great Euro. We've got a very good team at the moment. It's quite exciting.
And the best way to get in touch with yourselves is?
So best way is through sportsworld.co.uk, the website. Go on there, you can register interest, which we'll send out further details on the up-and-coming away trips in regards to the later stages, but also we've got 2 games being announced in January as well, prior to the Euro.
Busy time then?
Yeah, it's always a busy time of the year, but I think we're always busy, especially now with the UEFA Nations last year. So it's good having lots of different competitive games all the time, so it makes a big difference.
I'm still here floating around Wembley at the draw, and I've bumped into Steve Hopper, who we spoke with a little while back on the Three Lions podcast. We were talking Lionesses back then, weren't we?
We were indeed. It's been quite a year for England, hasn't it?
Hasn't it just? So it's been all right up here, hasn't it?
I've really enjoyed it, actually. The draw itself was probably the worst draw that I've ever seen out of all the draws for the major tournaments over the years, and I've seen a lot of them because it was quite boring. We almost knew the results before they came out, and usually you're kind of sitting on tenterhooks, and then but with this particular draw we were watching it, and the teams were already in the group pots, which was really weird. So you saw the letters of the pots as they were drawing out the positions. It was all very complicated, unnecessarily so, but it's been a great night here at Wembley Stadium. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Oh, I've loved it. It's been great. The hospitality, the free beer has been great, but no, David Seaman as well, and just England fans mingling around, chatting, has been great.
Yeah, it's really nice because when specifically from my point of view personally, being a sole England fan as you know, and not having a club, when you're around genuine England fans, and I'm not saying that the rest of the country aren't genuine, of course, but when they have other clubs to go to, as we spoke previously, it's kind of a watered down England fan, if you like. That's what I kind of look at it as, because they have other interests. When you have England fans, sole England fans that come along to a party like this, everybody is so enthusiastic about the smallest of things, and we were talking about how even something like a draw and how nervous we were feeling and stuff, something like that, whereas a lot of people up and down the country watching this tonight probably weren't as nervous as we might be. It's and as I'm sure you know, Russell, it's like the listeners to your podcast are going to be enthusiasts of England, so it's like we're a select group, aren't we, really?
Yeah, very much so.
But it has been nice. It's been a very nice hospitality by the England Supporters Club and the FA that have come along, and they've really put on a nice little spread for us. We had some cheesecake. Did you have some of that?
No, I saw it, and my eyes and my lips were salivating, but no, I never got around to having it.
I had some. It was like an Oreo type thing. I don't know can I say Oreo? It's a brand name. I don't know if
I'm open to anything. Hey, if they're open to plug in as well, yeah, Oreo, yes.
Yeah, there you go. So it was kind of like, it's a cookie cream combination. There we go.
Oh, don't.
It was a bit rich, so yeah, but it was all right. And we had some fish and chips as well.
No, it's all been really nicely laid on by the FA and the England Supporters Travel Club. So thank you very much to them. But looking forward to next year. We're going to cruise through the group. Can we win it?
Yeah, I said earlier, hands down. I'm usually I hover a little bit when it comes to groups, and when we get these draws, I do hover and I sit on the fence a little bit and I look at it and I really analyse for a few months before I give any decisions or any ideas of what.
Oh no, we need you on the spot now.
But I'm there completely. 9 points all the way. I don't see any other result that would be good enough. This isn't the World Cup again, and we're not looking at Belgium, and we're not looking at that going, oh well, if we finish second then we get an easier route and stuff like that. That's not happening this time. We're going to get the 9 points. Croatia aren't the strength that they were. Their cycle has come to an end, if you like. So they're on the down and we're on the up. So we're rising. So Croatia I'm not frightened of at all this time round. Czech Republic, obviously we've seen what happened this year. The loss was a one-off, without going into too much detail about that, but generally speaking I'm not frightened about Czech Republic at all. So that's 2 wins, and then of course it won't be the Scots, because I don't see them getting past Israel, to be honest.
No, you don't think? I think they can get past Israel, but they won't get past Norway or Serbia.
Israel and Serbia are really gritty sides, particularly Serbia, and I think Serbia will win. I think Serbia are going to get through the playoff, and I think that Serbia worries me more than Croatia and the Czech Republic, because Serbia they're hard, they're with a capital H or capital A, capital A. They're hard, and they're a gritty side. I was talking to Paul, one of the England supporter members earlier, and he was sort of saying about how Serbia are a little bit like Croatia when Croatia first started out and became independent. Is that the right word? Yeah. So Serbia are kind of like that. They're I think they're at that kind of stage. They've got a lot of patriotism going on, and they worry me a little bit more, and I think they're going to get through. So what do you think?
I think it will be between Serbia and Norway. Whoever wins that playoff, that semi-final, will be the ones who join us, I think.
And what do you think about going forward? I'm interviewing you now, but what do you think about going forward?
I think we look at the group and think, yes, we can go through that, and by all accounts, apparently we will, if we top the group, we go to Dublin and we meet a team from the group of death, which frankly I'm glad we're not part of that group of death. But if we go through with confidence, as you say, 9 points, we needn't fear anyone. And then come back here for the semi-final and the final, and as David Seaman said, the supporters get behind the team, then we've got nothing to fear, and this is our best opportunity in a long time, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, certainly getting through the group stages. Essentially, a Dublin tie is almost a home tie, sort of.
They speak English.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's close to home. It's relatively close. I think history can be made, and that's very, very exciting. So, actually, if we take on Germany in a round of 16. We could take him in this day and age. This isn't 2010. This isn't the end of the golden generation that it was in 2010. This is 2019. We're not at the beginning of a new cycle either. We've been in a cycle, a new cycle for like 4 years. So we are well into this new cycle, and the young players of the World Cup have grown an extra few years, and even some of the young players that have had the likes of Kane and Sterling and what have you, they were at the 2016 tournament. In fact, Sterling was at the 2014 World Cup. So they've got a few tournaments under the belt, some of these. So and they're getting older. So actually, we're getting to that time where they're reaching their peak. So, we could take Germany, and if the 2018 World Cup is anything to go by, history can indeed be made, and yes, by England, because we've put to bed some of those ghosts, and we've got a few more to put to bed now. So, yeah, I'm confident.
Exciting times. Steve Hopper, thank you very much, and yeah, let's catch up again.
I'll see you at Wembley for Euro 2020, Russell.
Let's do it. Now, as I make my way home on this chilly November night away from Wembley, the draw's been made, and we know 2 of our 3 group stage opposition. Not the most exciting, I must admit. Croatia and the Czech Republic, both winnable in my opinion, but both nations that we've faced in recent times. Of course, Croatia, our nemesis in the World Cup, but we did overcome them in the Nations League. Remember that night at Wembley, the 2-1 victory? We can have that again at Wembley. And of course the Czech Republic more recently, that win at home and then the defeat away. We'll await to see who we face out of Scotland, Israel, Serbia and Norway, but again I think either of those or any of those are winnable. We have nothing to fear. Now, the important dates for your diary, book them off now for work, or the following day, I guess, book that one off as well. Sunday the 14th of June will be the Croatia game. Friday the 19th of June will be the winners of the playoff team, and as I mentioned, it will either be Scotland, Israel, Norway or Serbia. And then Tuesday, 23rd of June, will be the Czech Republic. And all of those games will be at Wembley. That's been a really good day today. Thank you very much to the England Supporters Travel Club for organising it. Thank you very much for David Seaman for his words. Never thought I'd really get the chance to shake his hand. Massive hands he has, but he was a real gent. The interview was sort of cut short halfway through, and he came across to me afterwards and said, "Come on, let's just finish it off." So yeah, top man. Really pleased with that, so thank you very much, Tim. And as per normal, thank you for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like and subscribe at your normal place of download. Please do stay tuned, as I have an episode where I speak with a former England international, and that's coming out and going direct to your ears on the 5th of December. So until then, cheers.